Nii, ja nüüd siis palume meie hea sõbra teiselt poolt lahte ja räägime juba siis konkreetselt nendest võimalustest, mida võimaldab põhjamaine Building Smart.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, my name is Tomi Henttinen, and I'm both chairman in Building Smart Finland, and I will tell you today a bit more about Building Smart organization. I'm also the CEO, managing director in a company called Gravikon. We are mainly focused in BIM services. Arto mentioned about the BIM manager, BIM coordinator. That's the thing that we do most at the time. At today, we also do some software development. I've been involved with almost 40 BIM projects since 2004. Before that, we had some pilot projects, but I don't calculate those. Those were like testing and seeing how it works. When I'm saying that almost 40, this means that real BIM projects utilizing IFC. So I guess I could say that the BIM in Finland, it's pretty much everyday routine, at least for me. It's Building Smart is an international organization. It's we have this international level on top, which is taking care of the sort of standard development, IFC. That's the most known standard. We have quite a few other standards as well. Then below that, international level, there's technical committees which develop the standards and gather the user experiences and stuff like that. But to keep it simple, we are sort of under. There are different chapters. Nordic chapter is one of the chapters. Nordic chapter is Denmark, Finland, and Sweden at the moment. For example, Norway is own chapter. They have formed an own chapter. Basically, this chapter thing means power. If you want to receive something, you put together your own chapter. It's only $25,000, something like that, per year. Estonia is now coming in to the Nordic chapter, and actually, in all of our meetings in Nordic chapter, the Norwegians are always there, so we are doing close collaboration with them. Couple of the standards, IFC is the main standard. Then we have data dictionary definitions, the building collaboration format that was mentioned here by Sampo today. This is nowadays. It started with a sort of aquarium project between Tekla and Solibri in Finland, but nowadays it's a building smart standard. Then we have these IDM and MVD. They are like sort of the IDM is a process description, and MVD is a description for the software developers. So that IDM is like it's presents like a use case that what kind of information we need for the energy simulation. It tells you what kind of model you need, what objects it is, and how it's saved, so that it fits to the energy simulations. And once we have this sort of use case described, then the software developers create their own MVD, so that all the softwares, Revit, ArchiCAD, whatever, can create the model the same way. Basically, those are how they work. Very technical. This MVD is very technical in the end. Okay, then to my subject. A little bit background for the CoBIM project. The trends in Finland, we have Senat Properties, which is the biggest building owner in Finland, same as Riiki Kinnisvara here in Estonia, they released their first version of their BIM requirements 2007, and then started also demand BIM in projects. In Finland, BIM means IFC. It's always IFC. It's not Revit, it's not ArchiCAD, it's IFC. They started to demand IFC models in BIM in projects. Not, of course, not all projects, but in some projects they started to require this, and it actually spread quite rapidly to other organizations as well. So companies had their own BIM guidelines, construction companies had their own, even engineering companies had their own BIM guidelines. So 2009, 2010, we were sort of, it was starting to be a little bit chaotic. So we needed a new set of guidelines, and that was sort of the base for the GoBIM project. Then, of course, we had this summer actually new energy requirements, official requirements, which basically mean lot of, it means a lot of new installations in buildings, HVAC installations, because you can't actually have all these, the structures just can't be thicker anymore. And there's also some other rules that you need to carry out through. So which means that there's just more stuff coming in to the buildings. And BIM is a very good tool to solve those clashes that this new stuff means. Then, of course, this there's more and more renovation projects, and in renovation projects you still need you still have the same regulations as in new buildings, which means that they are even more complex, because you need to have the same amount of HVAC installations in old building, which means that you will have more and more clashes in the design phase and in the construction phase. So we need accurate measurements, laser scannings, for example. These are quite common nowadays, that in old buildings we are doing laser scanning, and then you create the BIM model from that scanning. But we have still we have still the schedule, because many times the user is still using the building when it should be scanned, and once the user moves out and the construction phase starts, probably in many cases the scannings or measurements are not complete, and this is very big problem in schedule wise. And then, of course, we are using this new technology, but we have the old routines. We have the document-based process still what we use, and this is one of the major pain points at the moment. This is also a new trend, that we are forming the design teams a little bit different ways. There's like a new ways of working. They're like a workshop type of working, advanced team integration, things that Arto mentioned here before, design IPD process and so on. So there's a lot of new issues coming in. It's not only BIM that is causing the change. It's everything that is sort of surround the whole industry at the moment. If you look at the software, in Finland, as I said, everything is IFC, and the reason, you can actually see the reason here. If you look at how many different tools we have that are actually used in projects, there is just no one common format other than IFC for all of these. Of course, some of them are not that common. When you go to the outer circle, there is not that common. But like Vico mentioned here today, MagicCAD, Tekla, Revit structure is actually not that used in Finland, but Tekla is very used. We have ArchiCAD, Revit, even AutoCAD architecture nowadays. Then we have the whole infra sector here. So we have a lot of different tools, and common thing for all of these tools is IFC. If maybe we should exclude this infra, but infra is also coming into Building Smart now. So the Land XML is just decided that Land XML will be one of the Building Smart standards as well. So this pretty much explains why we need IFC. As I told, Senat has this BIM guidelines 2007, and we had construction company requirements. And then 2011, this CoBIM project, Common BIM Requirements, CoBIM stands for Common BIM Requirements. That's project started 2011, and then 2012 it was released. And goal sort of for this package was to expand the benefits from the design phase to the entire the life cycle of the building. We upgraded the existing 1 to 9. There were 9 parts in the first series, and now in the second series we added 4 more, and still there is one more document that will be released probably next year, this building permit process requirements. This can be found and downloaded in PDF from buildingsmart.fi. It's also available in English, so please feel free to go there and download it. Here you can see some background. So we had a quite good funding for this. All the big cities, big building owners, construction companies, consulting companies, and software vendors, they were all included here. And if you look at the authors, we had many companies who have been using BIM and IFC in their projects for several years already. So it was a really group of down-the-earth BIM specialists writing these requirements. In the general requirements, what is inside, so as I said, there's like 14 of, at the moment, 13 different series in this package. In the general section we have things like the BIM management. We have introduced how in what phase you need what kind of model. And in previous days, BIM, sort of how the model developed was seen like a sequence, but actually it's not the sequence. It's like when you have like for example here you have some spatial model. You can see that all these models are actually, they should be presented also in the end. So they are included. Even the early sketch model is actually in some way or the other, they are included in that last phase. And that has to be understood. This is how the models are used. So if you need, for example, energy simulations in the takeover phase, you actually need very simple spatial model in order to do that. So that's something that is sort of explained in here, that it's sort of not the sequence of model, it's like parallel models in one package. Then what we did, we also divided the modeling tasks to all these different stages of design and construction. And also it was stressed that BIM is not, we are not designing BIM, we are designing the building, we are supporting the process. of decision making and construction and design. So it's not only BIM because it's BIM. BIM is just a tool for us. So it has to be sort of, you have to understand where are the decision making points and what you need for the decision making in each of these points. Also the new role, like I told, our company have been doing this for several years. Now we have a name for it, what we are doing, so we are called BIM coordinators. It's also specified a bit more clearly what this BIM coordinator does. Inventory models in Series 2. There it's explained how the BIM inventory models should be measured. There are like 3 levels of measurement. There's also 3 levels of how the building is, how the inventory of the building is done, and then finally there's 3 different detail levels how the model should be constructed. And these are based on what you need. So if you only need, for example, you need to study the areas of the building, then you don't need to make very detailed model. You just need the information that is accurate for the spaces, but the rest can be sort of quite sketchy. And that could be called like level 1 or level 2. And in level 3, you have very detailed model, which describes all the sort of geometry of the building. So that's how it works. Same 3 levels goes also in the architectural part. We have like the basic level for the collaboration between different disciplines. Then in level 2, it's the detail should be the detail level means that you can use the model in like tendering. You can take quantities out of that model, and level 3. You can actually use the model on construction site and calculate the tendering packages for doors or ceilings or whatever. So it works like in three different levels and detail levels. There's in all of these in all disciplines every time you publish a model to others, you should include this model description document, which actually describes what is in the model and what is not. Because it's very important to know what is not in the model. What is, maybe there are some parts that are not finished yet. Basically, we try to, in projects, we try to publish the models, the IFC models, every week. So which means that they are never ready. They are ready when the building is transferred to the client. So this document describes what is sort of the status of the model at the time when it is published, and also it should include what for it was published, because it's like Arto told, it's a little bit different to publish the model for energy simulation or for the construction site. It has different content. So the description document tells that. In building services, the goal for the building services document was to move a bit further, just not to look at just the design phase, but go a little bit further and see what happens on the construction, after the building is ready in the maintenance phase. And then this is actually, the building services part is actually the most sort of, the biggest changes are in here, at least when it comes to the detail level. So actually, the models should look pretty much the same as they are built. Structural part, not much things and changes from the past. pretty much this image tells you the same sort of phasing and detail levels as in other documents. The QA, quality assurance, is a rather important issue. And now it's more described how this self-assessment and coordination and final check are done. But the content is in the discipline parts. And then we have quantity takeoffs. We have seen presentations of that already. I told you about the energy analysis. This is for the indoor climate analysis. And then construction phase. This is something that is quite often. The construction companies use the model a lot, but this is very many times sort of forgotten that we need, for the maintenance, we need very accurate as-built model as well. So you should have some resources left in the end of the project. Yeah. Now the CoBIM is as I told, that the aim was to expand it from the design phase for the whole life cycle. So now we are covering the design, procurement, construction, and maintenance. All these parts, all these different phases of the building's life cycle with these documents. We also have, as I told, new roles: the coordinator, BIM manager, and new practices. This is one of the biggest problems that we have, that there's a young generation who are really skilled modeling specialists, but don't know anything about design and construction, and then vice versa. So we have a sort of a generation gap right now, and it's getting deeper at the moment. This will be a challenge. So, to summarize, CoBIM, we don't have actually, from the CoBIM, we are using this in our projects all the time, but of course it was published like 6 months, 7 months ago, so there are not really sort of metrics how it works, but it's been very good. Sort of the response has been really good. People are saying that now we actually can do with this. We can use these new requirements as they are meant to be used, and it's very accepted in the market. And as I told, BIM is an IFC, are like everyday routines in many ways. IFC works as long as you know what you are trying to do with it. It doesn't work in all cases, but in project work it really works. We need these best practices still, and software are getting better and better, and skills are also improving. And it's really nice to see that we, every time, more ways to utilize BIM models. They are discovered every time, all the time, new ways how to utilize the models. So that's really nice. But still, we have some issues that we need to improve. They are still, even though I'm saying it's daily routine, but it's still sort of struggle to get it into mainstream. And technology is always, and there's limitations, and once the technology invents something new, we get more demands from the users. So it's like a constant race to get it better and better. And we don't have any, as I told, we don't have any good meters how to measure the results. This was discussed earlier today as well. and also this how this BIM will affect to the process in general. Okay, thank you.
No nii, palun küsimusi. Aivar, sul ei ole ühtegi küsimust. Selge. Ikkagi kordan, on võimalus küsida.
It was complete.
Palun.
Küsiks BIM-i kasutamine renoveerimisprojektides, kui tihti juhtub?
Tuli sulle see,
No.
et jos on korjaustööd, et kuinka useasti siis tuleb esiin?
Well, I would say that more and more the renovation work, the renovation projects are projects like any other, and actually I would see more benefits. Well, not more, but they're a bit different. But I see a lot of benefits in renovation projects because renovation projects become more and more complex all the time. You will have more and more things that you need to put in, and the schedules are always more and more limited. For example, we are now working with the Finnish National Opera project. They are renovating the ventilation rooms, and it will be done in 3 phases during 3 summers. And they have only 2.5 months for each stage. It has to be like clockwork. They don't have any time for mistakes. So the model is actually at the moment, it's very, very complete. You have everything in it.
Kas see vastus rahuldas? Okei. Ma küsin myös nyt suomeksi. Arto sanas, että se huippu tuleb nyt 5-10 vuoden sisällä. Onko nyt Suomen puolelle jo, kui lähellä te sen huipulle olette?
We are in Finland. We are. Hopefully, this is not on top. We are not on top because then it's going down. It's pretty nasty to go down. But maybe we are in a tornado phase, and it's going quite fast. It's expanding. It's a lot of new companies, a lot of new users coming all the time, and people are not thinking that they are doing BIM. They are doing the normal design, and then you just realize that actually we are using the BIM tools and we are actually using the IFC to collaborate. And I think that's a good sign that people are not thinking anymore that this is something BIM, but this is just the normal design.
This is normally works.
Yes.
Okei. On veel küsimusi? Kui ei, siis aitäh veel kord ja annaks siis nüüd taas sõna meie kooli poistele. Aga nüüd siis tõesti